Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the fourth video on Korg Arrange's sound editing series, and this video is about creating user drum kits. Let's go to the sound mode. In the sound mode, there is no create new sound or create new drum kit option. We would need to edit an existing sound or drum kit to create a new one. We need to select a drum kit and edit it by assigning different samples and settings to each key. I'm selecting a drum kit. Now if you press the menu button, there will be an option called drum kit. Select it and it will open the drum kit edit screen. This is a drum kit edit screen. In a drum kit, each key is assigned with one or more samples. We can select the key to edit by pressing it on the keyboard. The settings on the screen changes based on the key selected. We can also select the key from here. The very basic step in drum kit creation is to assign a sample to a key. In this kit, all the keys have samples assigned to them. Let's assign a different sample to this key. We can assign it from here. There would be two groups of samples, the factory samples and the custom samples we added using the sampling option. The ROM section contains the factory samples and the RAM section has the custom samples we added. Let me assign a custom sample now. I'm selecting RAM. These are custom samples. We will go to another key. I'm changing the sample. But the sound is not getting changed. This is because there are multiple samples assigned to this key. They are split into different velocity ranges to play based on the pressure we apply on the key. We can layer up to 8 samples on the same key to play on different velocity ranges. These radio buttons are used to select the layer. The settings below are for the selected layer. This key has 5 samples assigned. Based on the velocity, different samples are played. I'm changing the layer count to 1. Now there is only one sample and the sound we hear now is this sample. Let me change it to another one. We can try adding another sample layer to the same key. I'm setting the layers count to 2. We can select the second layer from here. Let me increase the velocity switch position. Now with the velocity below 90, the sample in the first layer will be played, and for a velocity above it, the second sample will be played. This is how to assign samples to play on different velocities with the same key. This option is to cancel or enable the sample assignment on a key. If this is unchecked, the sample assignment to that key will be cancelled and the next key's sample will be played on that key. This option is to select the dry or ambience portion of the kit. This feature is not available in some models. Some samples in a drum kit may have the dry and ambience portions of the sound. The ambience portion will have the room or the surrounding sound along with the drum sound. The dry sound will not have that. We can set the kit to play only the dry portion or the ambient portion or both together. This is applied to the entire kit, not to each node separate. I'm selecting dry only now. This is only the dry portion of it. Let me change the layers count to 1. The level of the dry and ambient portions can be controlled separately here. Now changing it to ambient only. The ambient level is too low. Let me increase it. This is the ambient portion. This is the dry portion. When we have the dry and ambient together, we can adjust the level of each to get a good mix. Ambient portion has a time value here. It is used to set the duration of the ambience. Now going to the other settings. Transpose is used to tune the note. It changes the tuning by a semitone. Tune is used to adjust the tuning within a semitone. Now the attack and decay. They both are part of the setting called envelope. Envelope is used to control the values of a property. There are envelopes applied to the volume, filter, pitch, etc. I will cover envelope in detail in another video. For now, I'll try to make it very simple. We have two of the settings from the envelope here. These are attack and decay. Attack controls the initial time taken for the sound to reach its peak level. So if we increase attack, the time is increased and the starting of the sound will be smoother. I'm increasing the attack for this sound. There is no difference. It was applied to the first layer. Let me cut the extra layers. Now it has full attack. If I reduce it, the smooth curve is shortened. This is with zero attack. Decay controls the time before it fades down to silence. Here we have the dry and ambient portions of the sample. Decay controls the delay in the dry portion. For the ambient portion, this time property is used. Now the ambient section. When you change the samples for a key, some sounds will keep sustained if the decay value is more. Here decay is 40. I am assigning a different sample now. For this sample, the decay value 40 is too high. So it will keep sustained and will take a long time to fade out. I used to restart the keyboard when this happened to me earlier. But there is an easy way to fix this. If you haven't saved the kit, save it and then select another sound. It will stop the sustained sound. Then we can select the kit we were editing and come back to the edit screen. Now the cutoff and resonance. These values control the filter section. It cuts off specific set of frequencies from a sound. With a lower value, the higher frequencies are cut off. This is dependent on the filter settings. Let's go to the filter section. We have two types of filters which can be applied to the sound. I have given an overview of the filters in the part 1 of the sound editing series. I'll create a detailed video on it later. Here the low pass resonance is selected. It cuts off frequencies above the selected points. Here we have the cutoff frequency set as 99. That is the maximum. If I reduce it, the sound will change. Now going back to the drum kit, I'm increasing the cutoff. This makes it brighter. So this cutoff value here is getting applied on top of the filter settings for the kit. Resonance will boost the frequency at the cutoff point. Now the reverse sample option. If it is selected, the sample playback is reversed. The offset decides the starting point of the sample. There can be multiple offset points for a sample. So based on the offset point selected, the sample will start playing from that point. The sample offset is explained in detail in the oscillators video in the sound editing series. Now the EQ. We can apply a separate EQ to each sample on each key. This screen shows a summary of all the layers and settings of the selected key. This section is used to control the volume, pan, MFX send levels of the key. We can set it for each key separately. Now the voice assign mode. Let me assign a different sample before that. When the single trigger is not selected, the samples continue to play when pressing the same key again. If it is selected and the same key is pressed continuously, each press will stop the sample playback from the previous key press. Exclusive group is a number assigned to a set of keys. When a key with an exclusive group is pressed, the sound from any other keys of the same group will be stopped. These three keys have the group as 1. So the open hi-hat sound will be stopped when pressing any of the other two keys. Let me create a new group. I am setting it to 2. Same group to this key as well. Now it stops the sound. This option will detect the key press. So if it is off, no sound will be played. This is used for stopping the sound when the key is released. Now let us check some of the menu options. This is used for saving the sound. Once the editing is complete, we can save it as a new drum kit to the user bank. If you need to copy some notes from another drum kit, you can do it with this option. Select the kit you want to copy notes from and select the notes range. C-1 is the key from the starting octave. On a 61 key keyboard, we can do octave transpose to -3 and +3. That means there are 6 octaves hidden on the keyboard. When octave transpose is -3, the leftmost octave on the keyboard is octave -1. The next is octave 0 and it goes till octave 9. So the selected keys in the from section will be copied to the key range starting from the to section. Now it copied the sounds from the analog kit. The compare option can be used to compare the changes we made from the original kit. When it is selected, it suspends all the changes we applied to the kit. This was the original kit. This is the edited one. Initialize sound clears the settings from all the keys and assigns the default sample to all of them. So that's it about the drum kit editing. See you in the next video. Thank you.